And we are live on this special episode of Give Voice to Your Vision, where I have my friend, colleague, amazing entrepreneurial leader, Christina Hills, with us today. Welcome, Christina. So glad that you're here.
Thank you, Michelle. Love being here.
Yay. So Christina Hills, if you don't know already, it says it on her little thing. She's the creator of the website creation workshop. She's been passionately teaching non-techie authors, experts, small business owners, coaches, consultants, how to easily create their website in WordPress so they can get their message out to the world. You know, that's what I'm here to do. I'm always about getting your message out to the world. And she really puts the fun into technology and empowers people to control their marketing and their online presence fully, which is such a huge contribution. Thanks for doing that good work, Christina. She's also worked as a digital artist for like network promotions and NBC and George Lucas and all sorts of fancy people. So she's got some brilliant creative energy as well. Thank you for being here again, Christina.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. And if you rent, or if you have Star Wars Episode 1, I am in the credits under the digital artist.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And my
Right in the center as they go by like really, really fast.
I love it. Being a Star Wars generation kid, that has some cred over here in my world.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So tell us a little bit about your background, a little more about your background, and why do you teach WordPress specifically as a website platform?
Okay. Well, I've been online since 2004. And I had a previous business before I had the website creation workshop. And what I found was people got stuck at the website part. So what I was doing, I was helping people set up their online shopping carts, and I'd get it all set up. And then I'd say, okay, here's the link, just add it to your website. And they were like, what? I don't know how to do that. So I saw this bigger opportunity, which was to teach people how to create a website themselves in WordPress, even if they hate technology, even if they're technophobic. And part of why I wanted to do this, Michelle, is so many people wind up being held hostage by their web person who charges too much, doesn't get their vision. And website creation is a very creative process. Of my students, no two sites look the same at all. Even if they're using the same basic template theme design, they don't look the same. So I like to help people with their creativity, and I know you are all about creativity. And also just help them be in control of their marketing, because your website is your real estate on the internet.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying about how they, we have templates and now we've got AI, like making all this stuff easier to create, but it has to reflect you and it has to reflect your unique message, which I'm all about messaging. I'm sure you are too. And that you can do that using these tools, but then learning how to have your own design and feel is super important to stand out from all the people, because you're one of a kind and it can be unique, and we can also have that. I love that. I'm so excited. I have so many questions. So what's the importance these days of having a website?
There's many reasons. As I said, your website is your real estate on the internet, and you cannot rely on social media and your social media presence alone, because you and I and everybody listening knows someone who had their account either hacked or shut down for whatever stupid reason. So I had a friend who had built up a big Instagram following, and then something happened to her account. She couldn't get in. She was blocked out. She got no answers from Instagram or Facebook. So by having your own website, you can totally control what happens there, the look and feel, what you're selling, what message you're getting out there, without worrying about, is someone else going to like shut me down? I mean, really, it's like owning a home versus renting. You know, on
Yeah.
LinkedIn, you're renting. On Facebook, you're renting.
And the other thing that can change all the time is the algorithm. Like they just change what's going to work, what's not going to work, whether people are going to see
Exactly.
your stuff or not see your
Right.
stuff. I'm going to jump ahead because you just said something that I don't know about, and I think people will benefit from. And that is, WordPress lets you automate some things like list building. And a lot of times people don't connect. Like social media is not a group of people that we own. And I too have had
Right.
clients who have gotten locked out of their account and started over. And so talk to us a little bit about how we can automate list build. Those are big words. Everybody wants to automate, right? But if you don't know the
Right.
pieces to put together, it can be
Right.
overwhelming. Tell me a
Right.
little bit about how that works.
Okay, so when you have your own website, you can put whatever you want on there. And so what I recommend people do is start list building. So having an opt-in box with some kind of offer that's targeted to your target market.
Mm-hmm.
And by adding that on your website, then when people visit your site, they'll see what it is, like get my top 10 whatever, or
Some sort of a
you
gift
do
or something.
webinars, I do webinars,
Yeah.
PDFs, etc.
Yeah. So then somebody who's like surfing around on social media might be able to go to like your house, come over to your house to play
Exactly.
and be able to decide to take that next step, take that next action. It's something that so many of us miss, especially coaches, healers. We're in this transformation space, is what I call it. And we don't realize that we really have to tell people how to go, where to go, what to do next, or they just don't do it. It doesn't necessarily occur to them. And so
Right.
having that list is an asset for your business, just like your website is, and being
Exactly.
able to do that. And then we can bring those people from social media come over to our house to play, right? Play in our sandbox.
Exactly.
And that
Exactly.
you own. And then there's all kinds of ways. That means you could get not only their email, maybe you could get their phone number, right? And what I'm seeing so relevant today is that people are lost in the so many things. There's so much going on, and it's getting faster and bigger and more, as it has been for a long time, but it's really accelerating now. And so this is a way for people to decide to play in your sandbox or to be in your world. It's so funny. I am saying sandbox today. I don't know why. I have a song called "Won't You Come and Play in My Sandbox." So I'm thinking of that. And you own that list, and that takes people from random social media scroll into your world where you can teach and educate and inspire. I think that's
Exactly.
really
And
powerful.
think about it, Michelle. An email is the lowest common denominator. Like some people are on LinkedIn, but they're not on Instagram. And some people are on Instagram, but not Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. But everybody has an email address.
Yep.
Everybody does. And everybody checks their email like at least once a day.
Yeah. And just because you don't want to get a bunch of emails doesn't mean that your business doesn't need to send some emails in order to catch those people who are looking, even if they're doing it in a certain way. So super important tool. I love that you're leading with that and you've connected it to having a website, right? We have to have a place for that box, that opportunity for them to connect with you in your world, to go, to live. So good. So what kind of websites can you build with WordPress?
Oh gosh, you can build all kinds of sites. You can have, if you're an author, you can have a website for your books. And I met one time a few years ago with the head of Hay House Publishing. And I was talking to him about a website. He's like, absolutely, authors have to have a website because they don't want to sign you unless they know you can promote your book.
Yeah.
So that's really important. So you can have most people have an authority site, and that's like your main website where people can read your about us and see all your programs and see everything about you. But then if you've got an online course, your WordPress website can be your classroom. It can be in a private members area, so that can be your classroom. With WordPress, you can create landing pages. So I know you're going to give out a landing page to your audience, but you can have different landing pages do different things. And as your business grows, you can start segmenting to different, different parts of people. Like, let's say you're a relationship coach. You
Mm-hmm.
might service men and women,
Mm-hmm.
or women and couples. So you can start segmenting to the different groups that you have. So what I
Let's talk
love
about why
about,
that's so important. Can I interrupt real quick?
yes,
Because
please do.
if I'm sending an email to a dude about relationship coaching, and um, I am not really coaching dudes. I'm coaching women and couples, right? I'm going to talk differently. I learned this in Acting 101 when I was trained as a professional actress. Who you're talking to matters. And when
Right.
in today's world where there's so many emails, the more we can speak directly to that one person, that real person. Maybe you do coach men and women, but this particular thing, this particular landing page that you're inviting them to come to your webinar is for couples. So it's not for dudes and women. So it's really a powerful, I just wanted to cement that idea a little bit. I think more and more segmentation. I know we're over here segmenting the heck out of our list and making sure people are getting as many emails as they want and the right people are getting emails. So that is a really essential power, I think, today to be able to build your business to do.
Exactly. And even the simplest segmenting is people on your list who've bought from you already
Nice.
versus people on you who have not bought, right?
Yeah.
So if you're promoting your program or your course, you don't want to send the promotions to the people who already bought.
Right.
So it's important to, to think about that as you're building your business. But what I always say, because I don't want anyone to get overwhelmed, you've always got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you start with being able to do this yourself, as your business grows, you'll know how to hire out.
Yeah.
You'll know how to price, you'll know how to hire out.
Yeah, you'll
So
know what you need people to be able to do. And so
exactly.
that's a
Exactly.
whole nother thing. That's great. And so we've talked about what kind of websites that you can build. So, and we've talked a little bit about the connection between like having a WordPress website and social media, right? We've talked about selling products from your website. So how hard is it to build your own website? Like I think of that and I'm like, but then I spent tens of thousands of dollars to get my system built over
Right.
time. And it was a huge stress. And I had to learn, make mistakes as I went. And so, how hard is it? And when should we do it ourselves and not do it ourselves?
Okay.
Double
Well,
whammy.
this is why I've been teaching my program for 17 years. Because like
Amazing.
every year I'm like, oh, maybe I should retire this. And then I look around and I'm like, nope. Every time I see an unintelligible YouTube video where the person's not making any sense,
Right.
I say, yes, I'm in the right place. So I always tell people start simple with like the free tools and
Beautiful.
then expand. It breaks my heart when someone comes to me, they're brand new and they've bought all this stuff and I'm like, you don't need that now.
Yeah.
When you're starting online, you need to get your message out, your programs out, your email list built. You're not going to need an affiliate program for a long time. So I think I ran my course for 2 or 3 years before I brought affiliates on.
See,
So
and I think you and I may have met when I did a certain little Shark Attack thing. And
yes,
I really was basically pure fire adrenaline hustle and like down to the wire building all of that stuff by scrap. And I had a great VA who knew how to do it, but it was extremely stressful. And so, and then I also know people who've just like, I can't have a business until I paid $25,000 for a website. But you don't necessarily want to have your $25,000 website until you know what you're selling, you know how to talk about it, you know how to get some people signing up. So
right. Or you don't even need to run out and get a logo right away.
Yeah,
I have in one of my case studies a woman who took my class. She got her site up. She had no logo, and then a few years later, she added a logo in. So
beautiful.
don't think like, oh, I can't start unless I have a logo. And the other thing that why I'm so passionate about teaching people how to do it themselves is when you work with a web designer, typically they won't start until you have all your web copy. Well, it just
That's
doesn't
a
work that way.
monster of a job.
It's a monster of a job. It stops you in your tracks. Whereas when you can do it yourself, it's like you put it up. Okay, that looks good. Let me put up this other page. And it helps you refine your
Yes.
message by
Beautiful.
doing it. By doing it, you
Refine by
refine your message.
doing. You're singing my
Yes,
song again.
yes.
Helping
And
people on video, helping people make offers, helping people, talk and share their message in a way that people actually get it absolutely applies to the
right.
websites. So being able to be a little bit more fleet, you got to put it out there and see what works and grow as you go.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't tell your students, wait until you have everything, all the expensive equipment and lights and no, you say get out there and do it, right?
Do you have one of these? Go make a video. Call a client. It's and it feels like, I know a lot of people really want to feel like they're somehow bona fide, like especially in the coaching, healing, speaking space. We're just like, that we are what we're selling is what it feels like, right? So until we've learned how to articulate the results, we help people that's a journey, right? And so it feels so vulnerable, and we feel like we need to have this real estate, and we do, but we want to get it up and out there running as quickly as we can, so that we can see how every marketing piece of copy, everything you call yourself, all of these things, do it out in the world in front of your business, right? Get enough support so that you feel, I like to say, I'm going to give you just enough information to make you dangerous, and then get you out there, and you build your own muscle. You find the choreography of your message. So I love what you're saying about this, if you know how to do a basic site and you don't need all these bells and whistles, then your message can
start simple. Start simple. And what I do in my training is I start people simple, but then I show them the path to go deeper when they want to go deeper.
Nice.
So, you can have a 1-page site, you can have a 5-page site, you can have a 500-page site. It's really up to you.
Side note, do you think that we tend to overcomplicate it?
People do overcomplicate it, and they wind up listening to all these different gurus who say you have to have this and you have to have that. Well, yeah, that's when you've been 5 years into it or 10 years into it. But when you're getting started, you don't need all those things. You just need the ability to get your message out and express who you are and attract the audience that you want to attract. And speaking of these phone things, I edit my WordPress site laying in bed on my iPhone.
See, I love it. I love it so much. If I can't do it from my phone, I have a client now who doesn't even want to get a computer. She's launching her business, and she's like, can I just do it from here? And I'm like, you kind of can, I don't want to type long pages worth of copy in my phone, but it's so powerful to be able, or you catch a typo, or you don't have to like put it in a thing and submit a ticket and wait for somebody who knows how to do it to fix it.
Exactly.
You find your words all of a sudden. I was just going to try and grab one of my VSA clients today came up with this specific word to define her $50,000 a year package. And, she happens to do websites, so she's not doesn't have a problem, but the being able to hop in as you're going in real time and make those quick updates, or you want to, try a new gift if you've had a gift, and those little things is a pretty empowering tool.
Yeah. It works. This is why I keep teaching it.
Yeah.
Because my methods work, and my methods are aimed at non-techie folks.
Tell me more about that. So
Okay.
Give me an example about somebody who is completely non-techie. Like, I'll have people like energetically, like their technology will just like start to crash on them or shut down, and they get so charged about it that it happens even more. So tell us a tale of someone who is really non-techie and
Well,
how they were
I
able to.
had this woman who was non-techie, and she built her first site. I think it was a women's health and wellness site.
Mhm.
And then she built a site for cooking, and that's kind of where she's landed. She has this
Mhm.
recipe website. I think she's a vegetarian chef.
Okay.
And she gave me this great testimonial about how she could like barely do her email. And now she's got this site. She knows how to maintain it. She knows how to change pictures and prices and add a blog post and update, add a new recipe or whatever she wants to do. And it's those stories that are really empowering. I've got another guy who he built his website. He was a psychologist, and Psychology Today saw his site and then they hired him to be
Nice.
a writer. So it was because of his website that he was
Nice.
able to do that. And then other stories of like a woman was able to quit her job and she wanted to become a full-time coach. And through my training, she got the confidence. So
Yes.
not only did she get a website, but she got confidence of, yes, you can do it yourself. And so I like to coach people along like, yes, you can do this. I've done it so many times. I've got 80-year-olds. I've got one 94-year-old in
Love it.
my program. And
You
so
know,
it's just a very empowering, very creative process.
do you think that people who have the experience of technology not working or feeling that, it's like, I think of the Poltergeist movie, just to date myself, where there's that static on the screen back when TVs
Right.
used to go dark, right? So yes, that's me. But it's like they think, even thinking about it is this huge, like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, it's really overwhelming. So do you think there's a silver lining to that confidence piece? Like, what do you think?
Well, my students love it when I'll be doing a live demo and something goes wrong. And then they watch me find my way out of the hole. It's
So
like,
good.
oh, okay, this isn't working. Because look, tech is always going to break. It's our response to it breaking that keeps us sane. So they would
Or
watch me
keep
and
us
say,
crazy and feeling like we can't do it.
exactly. Well, my goal is to help teach people how to like, okay, if something goes wrong, we just stay calm and let's try to rule out it's not this, it's not this, it's not this, and just focus in on what the problem can be and sort of work your way out of it. And
And
that's a key skill. That's a key
so
skill to
good.
not get upset, to not get
Yeah.
upset.
And not take it personally, like I'm just this dork with tech, and I can't do it. It never works for me. All that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah,
I do that around video too, right? So when people are trying to, we think that, um, or even posting on social media, they do move the button. Sometimes it's glitchy. So I always think
exactly.
that's
Right,
powerful to see
right.
somebody navigate it, right? And just be like, oh, this is weird. And not just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Everybody's going to look at me. It's not going to work.
Right. Sometimes it's their software. It's not you at all.
Exactly. And I think that anytime we get the opportunity to navigate and calm down those
Mhm.
reactive fears and beliefs, we get to expand as humans. And for people in that
Exactly.
transformation space, doing these good works, uplifting people, wanting to serve and share, I think that's the silver lining that I see. And then also the confidence that comes from learning to do anything you think you can't do. Right. And this
Right.
is like also the confidence in, when it comes to visibility, websites included, the confidence you can get by saying, okay, like I did that video and nobody died, right? Like nobody died in
Right.
the making of this video. I thought my heart was going to burst out of my chest, but in fact, nobody died. And the same with that technology piece. And so how simple, how quickly can someone get a basic website built?
It's hard to give a straight answer because it
Yeah.
really depends upon the person.
Yeah.
So I had someone sign up through my course, and by the end of the weekend, he had it done. Now, most people take a little bit longer, so it depends. You're seeing clients and you're kind of working it in?
Where you are in
Um,
business.
some people just want a one-page site. and they don't want a lot of different pages. You know, some people want to be more complex. Some people have a lot of programs, so they need to get the pictures and the copy up for all their
Right.
programs. So it really depends, but I always tell people start simple and then expand.
Nice.
And expand as you go. And Google likes it. When they see you adding more pages to your site, they love that. They're like, oh, this is an active site. Oh, somebody
yeah.
lives
Thanks
there,
for that
you know?
reminder.
Yeah.
Avoid my website and tell my team we'll do that later.
Well, here's the thing. Your site is always evolving as you as the entrepreneur is
Yeah.
evolving, right? We're always becoming new people. And so there's always shifts and changes. And what's nice about having the skills to be able to do it yourself is you know, it's kind of like a website's like getting a haircut. You know how you're like, my hair looks good, my hair looks good, my hair looks good. And then one day you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get to the salon immediately. It looks awful.
And if you didn't make an appointment 6 weeks ago, you're in trouble.
Exactly, exactly. But when you have this control, you're like, oh, I'm going to try a new color scheme. I'm going to try new theme design. And your content stays there. But then you change like the look and feel. Whereas if you hired someone to change the look, you know, they're going to charge you a whole nother, okay, well, that's a rebuild or whatever. They're going to charge you a ton of money.
Right. And so the other thing too is the messaging, right? Like depending on where you are in your business and how well things are working, that getting that message dialed in so it feels true to you, but it's also resonating with the people that you want to attract. But depending on where you are in business, like sometimes you know, think we're serving this audience or we serve this audience for a time, but then we evolve and something needs to shift. And so being able to quickly implement it and make those changes is a real
It's really important.
asset. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Christina, you're teaching a class.
I
Thank you
am.
so much for sharing all this great insight with us and for your time today. I want to make sure that people know how they can take the next step to learn more. Will you tell us about the class? And if you're watching here live, I'm going to jump back in and make sure that you get access to it everywhere we are. We're
Okay.
streaming in a few places.
Okay. Well, I know you have somewhere on the screen where people will get the link. It's my WordPress masterclass called Easily Create a Beautiful Website in WordPress, Even If You Hate Technology. And I'm teaching it live 3 different days. It's the same class, all 3 different days, but the Q&A is going to be different. And the Q&A is where it's really fun. On this webinar, I teach with pictures. I'm a very visual person. Like
Nice.
if I see a picture, I understand a concept. So I have lots of visual pictures. Then I'm going to dive into WordPress and show you how to create a page and add a picture to it. I'm going to show on this webinar how to change themes, theme switching, theme design. So your same content will look different with different fonts and different colors than in another. So you kind of get an idea like, oh, this is too businessy, or, oh, it's not businessy enough, or, you know, and that's a lot of fun, just showing people the flexibility of WordPress. And WordPress has been around forever, I think since 2003.
Yeah,
and it has gained
WordPress.
It's the biggest website builder out there because you can do so much with it. There's no limit to what you
They're
can
taking
do.
care of it too, right? They're always updating and making it.
They're always updating. So you can be, you know, a life coach and have WordPress, or you can be Sony Music and Disney and have WordPress. Right?
Yeah.
It's the same software, but it grows with you.
Yeah. Christina, it's so great. I love how you're helping people kind of demystify the tech dragon. and I know that you have such a great way of teaching that makes it really accessible, and that you're able to help people kind of no matter where they are with their level of comfortability with technology,
Exactly.
but also their skill and their clarity around what their website can do for them, what they could focus on next, and how they can get even more, you know, what do we want in a business? So mission statement here, close. So I'm on an intervention to help people know that your business needs to have prospects and sales and make revenue in order for you to thrive and for you to make the biggest impact you can make. And that's what having a platform lets you do. So I'm so glad to be able to share you with our friends here today. And I have attended your webinars and trainings in the past, and I know how clear and accessible it is. And just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Is there any like final thing you'd want people to know or consider as they ponder their next website adventure?
The important thing is to get started and not worry about being perfect. And don't wait till you have everything. You need to jump in and get started, because like we've been talking about, you get that clarity by doing.
Yes, transformation through implementation.
Exactly.
Awesome. You guys, Christina's an amazing teacher. I hope you go check out her class, and we'll make sure that the links to sign up for this free training are available on the YouTube link. And I think that's where I posted here on link or on our Facebook page. And in LinkedIn, I'll hop over and make sure you have access to it there as well. As with ever, if I'm sharing brilliant people with you and you don't know how to find them, you're going to send me a quick DM and I'm going to make sure to connect you right there, live and in person. Christina, thank you so much.
Thank you, Michelle.
Have an amazing
pleasure.
class. Yeah, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay. Bye, everyone.